Have you ever stood on the edge of a casino floor? That chaotic symphony of ringing slots and desperate hopes? For most people, the stock market is no different. They see it as a grand casino, a place for quick wins and devastating losses, a game of luck. But what if I told you that's a lie? A dangerous, expensive lie. The truth is, the market isn't a casino for those who know what they're doing. It's a marketplace of businesses, and the people in it are divided cleanly into two groups: the investors and the speculators, the builders and the gamblers. Let's paint a picture of the bad investor first, because honestly, it's the easier path. It's the path of least resistance. The bad investor is a slave to the screen. The flashing red and green numbers are like a siren's call, pulling them toward the rocks. They are driven by two powerful primal emotions: the fear of missing out and the fear of losing it all. They see a stock like, I don't know, Hypertech Innovations, skyrocketing 200% in a month. Their friends are talking about it. The financial news can't stop screaming its name. The greed becomes unbearable. They jump in, buying at the absolute peak, without a single question about what the company actually does. They are, as Warren Buffett says, buying a stock hoping that the next guy will pay more. It's the greater fool theory in action. And then, the music stops. The stock drops 10%. Then 20%. Panic sets in. That fear of missing out transforms into a terrifying fear of loss. They can't sleep. They stare at the chart, watching their hard-earned money evaporate. And in a moment of sheer emotional turmoil, they hit the sell button, locking in a permanent loss. What did they do wrong? Everything. They were reactive. Their strategy was based on the mood of the market, not the value of the business. Buffett has a brilliant quote that exposes this entire mindset. He says, "The most important quality for an investor is temperament, not intellect." The bad investor has the wrong temperament. They are the living, breathing embodiment of another classic Buffettism. Be fearful when others are greedy, and greedy when others are fearful. The bad investor does the exact polar opposite. They are greedy at the top of the market and terrified at the bottom. They are the others in that quote. They are the fuel for the smart investor's engine. So, let's flip the script. What does the good investor look like? Imagine a person buying a local apartment building. What do? They study the neighborhood. They inspect the plumbing and the roof. They analyze the rental income versus the expenses. They think about whether they'll still own this building in 10, 20 years. The good investor does the exact same thing with stocks. They aren't buying a ticker symbol. They are buying a piece of a business. They ask fundamental questions. Do I understand how this company makes money? Do I trust the people running it? Does this company have a protective moat around its castle, something that keeps competitors at bay? Is this a business that will still be relevant and profitable a decade from now? This is the core of it. Buffett explains it perfectly. Your goal as an investor should be to purchase at a rational price a part interest in an easily understandable business whose earnings are virtually certain to be materially higher 5, 10, and 20 years from now. Notice the keywords: rational price, easily understandable, 20 years from now. This is a philosophy of patience and clarity, not frantic speculation. The good investor understands that the market is a servant, not a master. It's there to offer you prices, not to instruct you on what to do. Sometimes Mr. Market is euphoric and offers you ridiculously high prices for your business. Sometimes he's depressed and offers to sell you wonderful businesses for pennies on the dollar. Your job is to be the calm, rational adult in the room and take advantage of his mood swings, not be infected by them. This is where true wealth is built. As Buffett says, the stock market is a device for transferring money from the impatient to the patient. It's a slow, steady transfer of wealth from those who want instant gratification to those who understand the awesome power of compound interest. And this leads to one of Buffett's most famous and vivid warnings. Only when the tide goes out do you discover who's been swimming naked. When the economy is booming, even the worst investors look like geniuses. But during a crisis, the bad investors, The ones who over-leveraged, who chased fads, who bought without a margin of safety, are left completely exposed. The good investor, who focused on value and durability, might see their portfolio dip, but they aren't ruined. They're fully clothed, waiting patiently for the tide to come back in. Now, let's talk about diversification. The bad investor thinks diversification means owning 100 different stocks they know nothing about. It's a shield for their ignorance. The good investor sees it differently. Buffett challenges the conventional wisdom with this: diversification is protection against ignorance. It makes little sense if you know what you're doing. He's not saying put all your eggs in one basket. He's saying put a meaningful amount of your eggs in a few wonderfully strong baskets that you have studied relentlessly, and then watch those baskets very carefully. It's about concentrated conviction, not diluted ignorance. So, to recap, the bad investor, emotional, reactive, short-term, follows the herd, chases stories. The good investor, rational, patient, long-term, acts independently, chases value. It sounds simple, right? But Buffett reminds us why it's so hard. Investing is simple, but not easy. The principles are simple. The discipline to execute them in the face of fear, greed, and constant market noise, that is the hard part. It requires you to fight your very human nature. So, what's your first step? Start thinking like a business owner. Read annual reports, not just stock charts. Focus on the long-term health of the companies you own. And never, ever forget the two most important rules in all of finance, straight from the Oracle of Omaha himself. Rule number 1, never lose money. Rule number 2, never forget rule number 1. This isn't about avoiding a single down day. It's about the mindset of preserving your capital, of avoiding permanent loss. It's about making the rational decision, not the emotional one. It's the wisdom that has built and preserved fortunes. Now the question is, which path will you choose? The crowded casino floor, or the quiet, patient path of the business owner?
The choice is yours.